Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you are on planet Earth, on God's good Earth. Welcome to the weekend video. This is Andy here. I don't know how many times I've said that now. 200, 300. It's another weekend video. It's another Friday. Thank God. Made it through the week, and some bad news, good news to share or look over, or, well, if you're a bear, it's good news. Anyway, okay, let's just get down into it. There's no point in pussyfooting around. Okay, so this is the 4-hour count that I'm working with euro dollar. Impulsive move down, wave 1, A, triangle, wave B, and wave C up in 5 waves. Now we're quite close. That's what I've been saying throughout the week. We're quite close to, well, we were anyway, quite close to the invalidation line at 114.94 or 114.90, whatever. But the price has come off that today, so we're in a little bit of shape, a little better shape today, this evening, and I'm a little bit more, let's say, not confident, but I'm happy in the outlook that I have. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the, where's it? The weekly count, daily count, daily. This is euro-dollar daily count. Just to kind of let you know where where the invalidation line would lead us if it was broken. Okay, so you can see here it's a large wave B way back in 18, I think it is February 18, and off that it's an impulsive move down with an ending diagonal wave 5 in wave 1. I'll get rid of you. Expanded flat wave 2, and then an impulsive move down and correction higher again. So that's a wave 1 and 2. So that's where we stand right now. Wave 1 and 2. And the question being, are we moving down into a third of a third wave? Excuse me, third of a third wave within wave C. And if a third of a third wave comes on, then we should get down below parity. Okay, now the alternate is for wave B here on the daily count. So wave B back in 18, what I am calling the end of wave B, wave B back in 2018 may only be wave A of B. So it could be wave A up, wave B down, and wave C up. And if that was the case, then wave C would bring us back up towards 128 or 130 or something like that, but in that area there. But for the moment, we still have a 1-2 pattern to the downside with a correction in 3 waves up to a slight lower high. So I'm looking lower in wave 3 at the moment, and we'll see how that goes next week. Hence the reason why I was kind of adding caveats all week long on the nightly updates. Okay, 4-hour chart, you can see there's this 1-2 wave moving down into wave 3, and here you can see on the hourly chart tentatively calling that recent high as the top in wave 2, and now maybe 5 waves down into today's low. That's a reasonable possibility. I like the way that there's 5 internal moves, really, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This hash, that's whatever has happened. What was that, overnight on overnight on Sunday night. That remains to be seen whether that's part of 5 waves down or not. But anyway, suffice to say, I think we can call 5 waves down into today's low in wave 1, and maybe we'll get some sort of correction in wave 2 early overnight Sunday or Monday. But 5 waves down again next week is what I'm looking for. I really would like to see a push back below that wave A high. So that's 111.40, 111.46 initially. So we should get there easy enough. If there was wave 1, 2, wave 3 of 1 down should bring us back below that level. Okay, so for next week, still looking lower, 5 waves down, hopefully, and maybe we'll have, maybe by Monday evening, we'll have a bearish signal with the 1-2 pattern in place. Okay, pound dollar. Here's this long-term triangle that I'm working with. It's a relatively new count, so over the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at this, probably looking at it over the last month, but kind of switched to it, I don't know, 2 weeks now ago. Okay, so an ABC up in wave C of wave 4. We should get an ABC down in wave D, and then an ABC up in wave E. So a continually contracting price range is what I'm looking for, if this count is correct. Right, let's move on. This is the S4 count, 4-hour chart. Here's the hourly chart. That's the wave C high. That's 128.11 at the moment. We could have 1-2-1-2 pattern underway. Get rid of you. If that's the case, hard to know. It depends on the correction higher that happens next week. That wave 2 high looks to be at 126.52. So if that 126.52 holds and we fall again, then that means we're probably falling in wave 3 down. But we'll have to see. We could call, depending on how you read this internal pattern here, we could call this wave, this evening's lows as wave 1, and then we move higher in wave 2. But either way, we'll have to stay below 128.11, and we'll have to continue lower in 5 waves at least. Okay. So outlook for next week is continuation lower in wave A of wave B. Okay, so for our count in dollar yen, this move down here in wave C. Since last week, I don't say we because it was me. I changed to this alternate account here, and the main reason being I was expecting some sort of correction off that recent high, but we got an impulsive move instead. So that does classify the recent move higher as a 3-wave move in wave B, and now we're moving lower in wave C. This should be this move right now should be the final decline in the dollar for a while, in dollar yen anyway, for a while. If that's the case, we have wave E, or when we have wave E complete, or when we have wave C of wave E complete, that'll complete a larger triangle in wave B, and then we should head higher in wave C, and that's kind of what I've been looking for a while. But just kind of hold our horses for the moment. Okay, so let's get down to the hourly count and see what's going on there. So that's a pretty impulsive move. I mean, I was talking last night about how you would label this. It's a continual kind of a waterfall move. So it's hard to kind of pick out, let's say, stages of correction within there that would fit within certain degrees of wave. So if you can, I made absolutely no sense there. It made sense in my mind, but it didn't. I know nobody got that. Okay, so the the decline off the high was so sharp and so kind of sustained over the last few days that it's quite hard to pick out larger degree waveforms in there. So I think we might see an ending diagonal. So wave 1 would be the longest wave 2, and then wave 3 would be it would not be the shortest. So wave 5 will be the shortest, if that's the case. If that's what's still quite early in the structure to be calling this, but if that's what's going to happen, then that's what we should expect. I'm going to take a drink. So you can see the clear 3-wave pattern up. It was developing nicely and impulsively. We were expecting a correction in a 4th wave, and then we just got this, like I said, a waterfall move lower. So that's a B wave up, and we're expecting a C wave. So somewhere down around 104 over the next couple of weeks. We'll just have to wait and see how that kind of unfolds. But definitely a minimum target will be a break of wave A, so that's 105.98. We'll just play it by ear. It's just the way it's going to be. Okay, stocks this evening. Well, today was pretty flat. The futures were higher. Well, it's probably actually a little bit higher on the day, but the nice impulsive move that we saw lower on Thursday is a vote of confidence, let's say, in the in the bearish outlook. I'm not willing to, you know, I'm not even willing to jump on my own bandwagon at this point. You know where I stand on the stock market. I think we're moving into a wave C scenario, so we'll just have to see how this wave count, or sorry, this structure develops off the high initially. So it should be 5 waves down, but so far so good. We'll see how it goes over the next couple of days. Is there anything else I want to say there? No, apart from the fact that no, there's nothing else really. Let's just get into the short-term chart. Wave C is what I expect. The minimum target is. Is there nothing else to say? Yes, there is. There's always something else to say. The minimum target is 18,200. I suspect we could get it as low as 15, but that depends on whether this is wave B. Actually, I should insert my alternate count indicator there. If this is wave B in red, or 1 degree higher, wave B in black. At the moment, I'm looking at an A, B, C down in wave A, black. And then we get some sort of relief rally in wave B, and then we'd head lower in wave C, black. Now, given the sustained nature of the rise over the last while, I'm willing to look at the possibility that this move higher is actually 1 degree higher than I thought. So that means the initial move lower would be at 1 degree higher also. So, oh Lord, if we're moving down into wave C black, we can say goodbye sooner than I thought to the current way of life that we know. Not to be too overly dramatic, but this is going to bring with it some serious restructuring, let's say. Okay. Anyway, yesterday's move down is, like I said, a vote in favor, but we need to see some confirming price action after this. Okay. Let's go hourly chart. We got a bounce today. It could be wave 4. See, I'm kind of between two stools again here. Earlier on the week, I've been, obviously I've been looking for this decline to happen for a while, and it just didn't. So it came this week. Praise the Lord. Not good if you bought up at the highs, but it came this week, and it was pretty vigorous yesterday. So I'm not entirely sure whether wave 1 is still underway. So this wave 1 in green here. I'm not entirely sure if this actually is wave 1 at 1 degree higher. It probably we're a little way off that at the moment. If we extend lower again and we push down towards 24,000 level, then we'll probably move that up by 1 degree again. But for the moment, I don't know whether the low we experienced yesterday was wave 1 complete, and we are now moving higher in wave 2, or if the low we experienced yesterday was wave 3 of 1, and now today's move higher is actually wave 4. If that's the case, then we head lower again early next week to complete 5 waves down in wave 1. It's just one of those things. We're just going to have to track it over the next couple of days and see how this upside correction, kind of takes shape. Okay, it's certainly the move off the high is certainly large enough to call it already wave 1 complete. So as I've shown there in the alternate count. If you match it with the previous wave 4, you have a similar decline into a similar low, previous fourth wave, and previous A wave also providing support and pushing back up today. Okay, so it's just going to take watching the action over the next day or so and see how these corrective structures build, and if it offers some sort of opportunity to the downside again. Long term, I'm horrendously bearish, but now short term, I'm matching that. Okay, so let's move on to gold. Gold has been pretty flat today, actually. I was thinking that we had maybe an expanded flat. We didn't make a new low this morning, so it could be a running flat at wave 4, and maybe we're moving higher in wave 5 now. If that's the case, I, I, I did want to see wave 1 at least break this 70.45 level with this kind of a stretch goal up above there at 1764. So breakout above 1764 would go a long way to confirming that wave 5 was underway. But in general, I want to see over the next week a corrective higher low build above 1670 and completion of wave 2, as you can see there. And that would allow for a rally again in wave 3 of 5. Actually, I'm on the hourly chart. Get up to the 4-hour chart there. So that'll be wave wave 1 of 5, looking for wave 2 of 5, and then a rally out again, possibly up towards the middle 18s, so 1830, 1840, in wave 3 of 5. But in general, I think we seem to be drawing close to 5 waves up now in wave 5, or alternately wave 3. So we're most likely moving towards an end of an impulse wave now, and then we'll experience some sort of correction lower again. Yeah, actually, I'll have to move out to the daily count to show you what I mean by that. So here's the daily count. Wave 5 coming to a close in wave 3, and then we would correct again in wave 4. As you can see here, we seem to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and moving higher in wave 5 now complete. So that's 5 waves up in wave 3 in blue there, and then we'll correct again in wave 4 blue. And then we will move higher again in wave 5. These are longer term counts, so obviously there are other interpretations, and I'm very willing to kind of consider those too. So suffice to say, I think we're close to 5 waves up. Whether this is wave 3 of 5 or it's wave 5 of 5, I think we're still completing 5 waves up, and we're probably going to push up to the middle 1850s and then correct again back down towards that 1700 level again. Okay. Next week, this is the hourly chart again. I would like to see a break of 1745. Like I said, the stretch goal 1764 to break out above that previous wave 3 high. Okay, let's get into crude oil. Let's move the scroll along there a little bit. Okay, crude oil wave 4 is what I've been looking for, wave 4 completing, and a move lower into wave 5. So wave 5 down. Coming to a close. If we see wave 5 down, that should probably bring us back below the 10 handle again. I know we had a real crazy run lower in third wave to negative prices. I'm not saying we're going to go to negative prices again. I doubt it. But this should be a fifth wave down, and if it's not going to go to negative prices, then it's going to be a truncated fifth, and the oil market should get pretty boring after that. Okay, that's a 4-hour chart. The hourly chart here, you can see a possibility of a 1-2-1-2 pattern. Still a chance that well, hold on now. Still a chance that we are moving lower in 5 waves down in a larger wave 1. But I'm just gonna, for the moment, the rally today was large enough to kind of push it towards a series of 1-2 waves, and that should lead to, either way, it should lead to further declines in wave 3, and that'll be wave 3 of 3. And if this wave count is correct, we should probably see a continuation lower, probably back below the 30 handle again, in a larger degree, wave 1 in blue. So I'll just put that label here tentatively. So all this move down would be within the larger wave 1 blue. Okay, for next week, I want to see this corrective wave 2 complete, and then a further decline, impulsive decline again in wave 3. It would be nice to see a break of that previous fourth wave. That'd be 32.50, and we'll see how that plays out. Okay, S&P again falling towards the lows again this evening, which is good for me, not for most. Again, with 3 waves up, this one pushed much higher, and I got real sweaty last week. Pushed far higher than I ever expected it to go. But the decline over the last couple of days looks impulsive, and I like the fact that it's impulsive. We have 2 pretty significant levels there. The wave A high, that'll be 29.70, 29.75 area. Wave B low at 27.64. So if we this larger wave 1 in blue here, I would like to see break below that wave B low. So that would take out the whole advance in wave C. And that would set us up for a nice 1-2 pattern down to begin wave C. So this whole move lower that I'm expecting is in wave C, and wave C should bring us back towards 2000 level again. Definitely a break of 21.90, that wave A low. And if it is a wave C, it should be in 5 waves to the downside, and again the same alternate count holds for the S&P. So this could be 1 degree higher, and if it is 1 degree higher, then may the Lord help us, because it is, let's just get a label on that, or a marker on that. If this wave B in black is actually where what we've done, and what we've traced out over the last few weeks, then wave C in black is about to get underway, and wave C in black has the potential to bring us back down to that. Let's get the S&P weekly. That wave C in black has the potential to bring us back down towards those 2008, 2009 levels. So back towards $1,000, $1,000 on the S&P, 1,000 on the S&P it's not what people are thinking right now, but that possibility is very real. Let me tell you that much. And that would be in a 4th wave, so that'd be 1 degree higher, 4th wave. Okay, and then we would rally again in wave 5, but that's going to be a good few years out. Here I am getting ahead of myself again. So this 4th wave low is probably going to be out in 2023 or something like that, or 2022, and then we'll just kind of bounce along the lows for a few years before we start picking up speed again. And at that point, nobody will believe the rally. It'll be a rally, and it'll be evident on the charts, but not a single person will want to buy that rally. Okay, righty, down to the 4-hour chart again. Here we are topping out in a B wave and moving lower, hopefully into a C wave. The hourly chart, we may have wave 4 complete at today's high. I'm I'm labeling this as 1 degree higher than the wave count in the Dow. That doesn't mean it doesn't change. Excuse me. It doesn't change anything in the outlook for the trend of prices, but like I was saying in the Dow, I may have to move it up by 1 degree, which would probably bring it into line with this anyway. Kind of depends on what sort of corrective action we get over the next week or two in the second wave, and what level wave 1 completes at to the downside. Okay, so I think I can just finish on saying that this week's action is not yet vindicating the bearish outlook, but it's definitely a step in the direction, and it's definitely not what let's say the bullish outlook would have expected. But we do need to see more action, more horrible sell-offs, and more fear, let's say, than what's exhibited right now. Okay. Next week, let's look for wave 1 down to be complete. Okay, silver. I still think we're kind of completing wave 2. I don't think we will get as low as I thought we might have. I thought we might have got back down towards this shoulder here, that 1450 level in wave 2. It's not looking like we will right now. Now, I also have another idea for what might be going on. This could be wave 1 and 2 way back here. And then maybe this is a lower degree wave 1 and 2 playing out. And if that's the case, then we're closer to a serious rally than I thought we were. But for the moment, anyway, I'm counting this left shoulder as a fourth wave rather than any second wave, and this spike to a new high as a fifth wave of wave 1. And now we're correcting lower again in wave 2. Okay, so here's how I'm looking at wave 2 playing out. Let's get in there a little bit closer. Excuse me. Maybe 5 waves down. Maybe underway right now. We didn't get an overlap of the fourth and first wave. It was a very close affair, but the wave 4 and wave 1 did not overlap. We've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe underway right now. So wave 4 may go on. I mean, it could be a sideways kind of triangular move, or a flat move, or a running flat move, or something like that over the next couple of days. For the moment, we can call wave 4 at the high there and look in general for lower prices over the next couple of days. And immediate target at 1717. We hit the lower trend channel line down around 1695 or so. And we have a previous fourth wave down there also. So that gives us kind of a nice series of targets to work towards. And with somewhere within this band from 1717 to 1680 or so, we're going to see reversal hopefully higher in to begin wave 3 up. Okay, so I'm going to throw in a couple of extras that I've been asked for this week. And I have been thinking about adding them to the service, but I need to streamline my workflow, I think, first of all, before I start adding in more. Otherwise, I'll never get anything done every night. Okay, FTSE. I'm going to concentrate on the 4-hour chart. I may just throw in these charts first of all at the end of the nightly updates when I'm looking at something interesting developing in them. FTSE and the DAX. People have been asking for Bitcoin, but I kind of have a pet peeve for Bitcoin. Don't ask me why. It's too long of a thought process to get through. Okay, so here's the FTSE. FTSE was far less, let's say, inclined to rally. It didn't attract the capital, obviously, that the S&P and the Dow did. But we got back up to pretty close to the 62% retracement level. a pretty reasonable Fibonacci retracement in a B wave, and we moved again lower pretty impulsively off that level this week. You could probably pick out 3 waves up in this correction higher in wave B, so that's wave A up, flat correction wave B, and then I think maybe an ending diagonal wave C, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave C, and then a nice impulsive move off that high again. What do we have this evening? I should go down to the hourly chart. I am on the hourly chart, am I not? Okay, so here's the hourly chart. It's pretty identical to the Dow actually. A little bit clearer of a 5-wave move off the recent high. 1, 2, acceleration lower wave 3, correction higher in wave 4. It could be a zigzag, and with a bit of luck, moving lower again in wave 5. We have this high and low of the previous wave B area, so we've broken through that 6200 level. Down at the low of the wave B wave would be 5660. So if we got down to 5600, somewhere around there, 5650 or something like that, that would again in 5 waves. That would again indicate that the top of wave B is in, and that we're moving lower in wave C. So in general, I'm looking pretty similar bearish outlook in FTSE. Righty. And I think FTSE turned earlier as well, didn't it? It turned at the end of January. So it's interesting that the rally actually lasted as long as the rally in the S&P. This reflation wave probably just went everywhere, and we got an immediate turn down everywhere at the same time. Okay, the outlook for the FTSE in general is to move down again into a C wave, and I think, if you go to that daily count, actually we got a higher high way back there in. I'm gonna have to work on that in 18. So this could be A, B, C of A, and then A, B, C of B, and then we're moving lower in wave C again. Interesting scenario there. Okay, outlook obviously is lower. Where we get to, it depends on the degree of the decline that is to come. But I'm going to start filling these charts out a little bit more in detail over the next few weeks, and I'll throw them into some of the nightly updates as we go along. Okay, so the German is the DAX. We did hit a new high in the DAX pretty much the same time as the US market, so right around that 20th of February level or area, sorry. And what was that? That was 13,800, 13,830 on the DAX, and we moved with an incredibly powerful move lower in 5 waves. I think a pretty clear 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe an ending diagonal wave 5. Got into, let's see, the 4-hour chart there. We might be able to pull that out. 1, 2, 3, I think. 4, 1, 2, 3. It may not be the ending diagonal that I had thought. Okay, I'll work on that next week sometime. A nice trend channel up, so that does speak to me as a correction higher. So definitely in either wave 1 down and a wave 2, or an A and B scenario. B wave and wave 2 can retrace quite a high to quite a large extent, and that's what we've got here. We even broke above that 78.6 retracement level, and the fact that we've moved lower again this week is suggesting that we have a correction complete. I think this could be more of a zigzag correction higher, so 5, 3, 5, in the DAX. So I'd like to see same thing again, 5 waves down complete and a 3-wave correction to a lower high before we accelerate lower again. We have a couple of bands here that 11,340 at the top of wave A, and the low of wave B is 10,170, 180, 10,180, let's call it. Depending on the degree of the decline that we're about to see, those two levels will provide support. So if we slice through the top of wave A, we continue towards the low of wave B, that will equalize the degree of the decline with the degree of the rally in wave C. So that will give us a kind of an indication of where we stand. Okay, so in general, look for bearish signal off the high over the next week or so, and should indicate that we are heading lower into wave C. I think that completes it. Yeah, that kind of does it. Okay, I've done enough talking. It's time to get started on writing. And thanks for hanging around throughout the week. Thanks for your patience over the last few weeks. I've been the Uber bear, probably the last one left in the room, along with you guys who are reading every night. But there ain't much of us. There ain't much of us left, and today was kind of or this week was a little bit of a hat tip in our favor. We're not pulled out of the fire just yet, but it's definitely tipping the scales back in our favor again. Okay, have a great weekend. God bless you all. Thank Jesus that we got through this week. And let's move on to next week. Alrighty, be good. And we'll see you on Monday. And for you subscribers, I'll see you later on when I finish writing, if I manage to keep my eyes open. Alrighty, God bless, guys. Until next week, bye-bye.